Whether it hit you like lightning or crept slowly over time, a spiritual awakening is changing everything. Here are 3 signs it's happening to you right now. What is a spiritual awakening? Quite simply, a spiritual awakening is the divine knocking on your door. It's an experience of the inner spiritual reality of life. You didn't plan it. It's not something you did. It's something that happened to you because the time was right. And you may not even have language, and most of the time we don't have language for this. But we experienced something that was definitely not of the earthly, material sense of things, and it changed us forever. And what we're trying to do is first understand what actually happened to us. What does that mean, and what do I do about it? The spiritual awakening can happen sort of in 2 general categories. It can be something that happens slowly and gradually over time, or it can be something that happens rather suddenly and very unexpectedly. In my personal case, it's the latter. I had my awakening rather suddenly and unexpectedly, and I had to search to find out what that actually meant. Now, the advantage of the slow and steady is you've already had some type of spiritual experiences already or interest that got you studying on this topic. So you've already started to sort of acclimate your life into this area. If your experience was rather sudden and unexpected, like Saul on the road to Damascus, my goodness, he was pursuing one line of attack and pursuit, and after his transformational experience, it was a 180-degree turn on that. That's a very dramatic, sudden transformation. And that can happen to you too, and that can be exciting in its own way, because there is literally like a veil has been lifting and you're seeing more deeply into the spiritual operations of life. So whichever way it's happened for you, it's wonderful and miraculous in its own way. But what sort of makes it the spiritual awakening is there are people that have had experiences even from childhood. Maybe they saw colors, or they maybe had an angelic visitation, or just it was an interest. They've been studying metaphysics in different traditions for a long time. And it kind of kept their life the way they knew it. But then something came along and said, I have to do something about this. It's not just an interest. I have to now start to pursue it more directly. And then this spiritual awakening becomes the spiritual path. And now it becomes an integral part of your life, and it's something that you need to get involved with. Remember, the spiritual awakening is not the end destination. Your spiritual awakening is the call to action to begin the path of ascent. So it's the start in a more concentrated way to reaching the spiritual potential that you have, and it's understanding the depth of what you have stepped into and the incredible world that you are now becoming part of. Now, we could say there are 3 signs that you're definitely having an awakening, or I like to call them more 3 qualities of the spiritual awakening. Because we're not looking for signs in the skies. We're not reading the tea leaves here. We're not reading the entrails of an owl. We are trying to understand what is the internal mechanisms going on that are really telling me, wow, this is really happening. I know in my own case, when I actually connected the word metaphysics to the things I was experiencing, it was seismic. It was the explosion of discovery, realizing I'd hit the mother lode. But it takes sometimes a little while to get to that point. One of the signs that you're having a genuine spiritual awakening is this feeling of elation, of discovery, of something magical that's happening. But you also feel grounded in this world. One of the big complaints others who have not had their awakening say, who others have, oh, you're a space cadet, oh, you're out there, oh, you've lost touch with reality. When in fact, the spiritual awakening is the exact opposite. It's tuning in more to the reality of life on all levels. A genuine spiritual awakening means you have more insights, yes, into the spiritual world, but also the physical world. You understand the physical world better because you're now starting to approach it from that spiritual perspective, because the physical world is born of the spiritual world. So the genuine spiritual experience, while there may be a little bewilderment, what is happening to me? It's a wonderful feeling, but you still have your feet firmly on the ground. If you are feeling unbalanced, if you are feeling like you're losing touch with reality, that's something else that's going on. And you need to find your center again, because this work is not taking you away from the activities of life. It's making you more engaged in the activities of life and more productive and more successful in everything you're doing. Not just one lane, all the lanes of your life are blessed. The Spirit blesses every part of your life. It can make you a better husband, a better wife, a better teacher, a better whatever it is. It makes you more of what you already are. And that's part of the great excitement, is that you are feeling this sense of, I am part of a greater whole. Where the bandwidth was like this, and now suddenly it's becoming like this. That's one of the important signs. Another sign or another quality, because as we mentioned before, you can have spiritual experiences and not necessarily do anything about it. But when it's a real awakening, it is a call to action. And the experience propels you into the state of seeking. I need to learn more about this. I need to dive into this more deeply. I need to explore this. And that's where we start to pursue the path. If you fall in love with an art and you decide you want to be a pianist, you start studying everything about music, all about the piano, all of that. It's the beginning of a miraculous journey. So the sign of the true awakening is it does mean it's asking you to do something. It's asking you to be a part of this. It's a call to you. The divine is saying, become more part of the divine life. Be the amanuensis of that life for yourself and for others. And that seeking has its own joy. It has its own challenges. But really, once you go down that road, there's really no going back. It's hard to turn back the other way. It's like you've met the love of your life. What are you going to do? Reject that love? You've got to pursue it, even if it is going to change your life, which it is going to. The third sign or quality of a genuine spiritual awakening is the sense of joy, often born of difficulty. There's an irony here. Often we find our life at the moment we think we've lost it. We may have a tragedy that happened. We may be on a certain road in our life, and it took us down a certain way, and it resulted not in what we want. We didn't get that job we wanted. This didn't happen. Sometimes we might even be shipwrecked in our life, and we've hit some type of rock bottom. We've hit a difficulty in our life, a pain, and suddenly from this pain, it's like the light at the end of the tunnel. We see, oh, wait a minute, there's another way to see this whole thing. And the difficulty, the healing or the sorrow we are trying to get over actually becomes the catalyst to propel the awakening. For the soul has to be tempered before it's ready to start on the spiritual journey. Not everybody is at that place yet. But if you've had that awakening, if you've had that happen, it means it is your time to start the journey. So whatever difficulties you may have had that led to this, it literally led you to where you are today. You want to bless the past. Don't go back to it. It brought you to where you are today. You're going to plan for the future as you walk down this path, but you're going to live in the present because here is where the divine is. So this sense of joy that comes with here, born of the challenges of our life, makes us also appreciate this opportunity that we've been given and to pursue it with more zeal, devotion, and dedication and sincerity, and to hopefully be a channel of it for others who are ready to have their awakening. This didn't just accidentally happen. This is a carefully orchestrated, opening, blessing, new road that the divine has prepared for you. So the most important thing is to follow through. Follow through and pursue it. Pursue it with all the love and all the strength that you have. Pursue it while you are in the midst of the life that you are in. Make room for this in your life, and it's going to lead you to extraordinary places. Do you want to learn more about the auric field and metaphysics? Subscribe to our channel and check out our website about our courses and books.